Hello everyone, welcome back to another Roblox tutorial video. So, what are we going to be doing here today? As you've seen the title, we're messing with Bezier curves. What's a Bezier curve? Well, it's basically just a simple curve. There's nothing else I can really explain to it. It's a curve. It says it itself. So anyways, not going to go into the detail of Bezier curve. Basically, it's a formula which allows you, it depends what you use. There's quadratic and then there's cubic. We're using the cubic where it uses 3 points to draw it. And it basically just uses 3 points to draw a simple curve between them. And dependent on what our LOD settings will be for this, which we'll get into later on, it will either be a straight line or be a really nice looking curve. So, how are we going to be able to do this? Well, basically we're going to create a module and we're going to add in a few more code into the main area. So I want to go over what I've changed so far. So if we go into the course area of the workspace and we go into past, you can see that I got rid of all the tags. This is for a reason which I made it much more efficient, so you don't have to go add tags into each one and change its value. You can just name it like this. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. So we'll go ahead and close this. We're not going to use this for the rest of the tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and do this right here. So we're going to go ahead and change this. Are you guys ready? I am ready. So before I go over that, I just really quickly want to say I changed the name of testing to controller just to make it seem logical. So if you guys don't see a controller script here, just change your testing script to controller and you'll be able to see it a lot easier. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to go and create a fundamentals. We're going to go into the fundamental folders. I can't speak. In the modules folder, which will be in replicated storage. Create a new module script. And we're going to name this Bezier. Next, we're going to go ahead and do local Bezier is equal to an empty table. And then in here we'll do type is equal to Bezier. Now, you guys probably won't use this ever. I will use it in the future for the tutorials for the new Roblox U pluses. Basically, all you have to know about this one is that if you do print Bezier.type, it'll print out that. That's all you have to do. That's a meta method. You guys can go ahead and search that up. I might teach that later. I don't know. It might be a future tutorial. Guys, go ahead and put in the comments right now if you guys want that to be a tutorial. Anyways, continuing on, let's go ahead and get into the actual programming now, not the simple setup. So we're going to create a get corners function. This will basically go through the X, Y, and Z, increasing by 2 each time, and the X has 2 sides, the Y has 2 sides, and Z has 2 sides. That's how a cube is formed, because a cube has 6 sides. And later on, we'll go ahead and divide the size by 2 and multiply it by the current segment the Z or Y or X is at, so we can get the certain position in which the cube will be at. So that's basically it. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and do get corners. We'll go ahead and put in part here. Now let's do local corners is equal to an empty table for now. We'll be implementing stuff in there, don't worry. So we're going to go ahead and do for x is equal to -1, 1, 2, do. And basically we're going to do this for the y and z. So is equal to -1, 1, 2, do, and then for z is equal to -1, 1, and 2. Now, what does this mean? Well, like I said, 2 for each axis starts at -1, so it can be 2 for each axis, and then it ends at 1, so we can have a simple first corner kind of thing. Then we'll go ahead and index corners, and we'll do a hashtag corners +1. Basically, this is saying, okay, we're going to take the amount of objects that are in the corners area, and we'll go ahead and add 1 into that. So we don't have to set a variable and then increase the amount of corners that we implemented in. So then we'll just do part.cframe point to... Oh, I messed up point there. To world space. And then we're going to go ahead and put in a vector 3. Basically, we're not making the C-frame relative anymore. It's just going to become more relative to the world vector. If you've done like on the move tool, if you, I think, do Control L, that changes it from a local movement to a global movement, which would include rotation and everything like that. Then we'll go ahead and do, and this is what I was talking about dividing. We'll do part.size.x divided by 2 times x. Then part.size.y divided by 2 times y. And then part.size.z divided by 2 times z. Basically, a -1 will make it go down, and you can kind of see where it goes from there. So then we go ahead and return corners. That is a basic corners function, as you can see here. Only about, let's see, that's 2 minus 4. So that's actually just about 10 lines of code right there. And I could have just added 10, so I don't know why I even bother subtracting 2 from there. But, or maybe that's the 11. I'm not for sure. Maybe it's 10. But it's a small amount of code just to get the corners. Now let's do another one, and let's do function get top corner. Now, why are we doing this? Well, there's a reason for that. We want to get the top corner because it's going to be rotated at first anyways, so we can get the certain position. So you guys will see why we need to get the top corner. Well, let's just get, we'll just leave it at get top corner for now. So local C is equal to get corners P, which would be getting the part. Then we go ahead and do local TC, which is equal to top corner. It's equal to cframe.new C of 3 dot x plus C of 8 dot x divided by 2. And then we go ahead and do it like that. And basically you do that and you repeat this for y's and z's, which shouldn't be hard. So dot z. Now, you guys may be asking, why are we choosing 3 and 8 specifically? Well, if you were to make this function so it would draw these future ones, it basically says, hey, look at this. Basically, go ahead and look at each point we've drawn. I set the certain value that it's set to whenever it gives you all the corners. Take these, choose what you want. And I chose 3 and 8 because it's the ones that actually worked out at the end. Then we'll do cframe.angles. This will allow us to rotate it. Math.rad, which is radian. p.rotation.x. And you may be asking yourself, well, why do we need to do this, Spooks? Well, there's a simple reason for that, and that's because when it comes to a rotated cube, the hitbox will, the corners will stay at not at a slanted, and so that's not good. You want it to be other than that. So you kind of want to include the rotation as well. Now we have return C and TC. This will return the corners and the top corner. I would have included the bottom corner, left corner, and right corner, but we don't need that for the tutorial, so we'll just go ahead and skip over that. So continuing on here, let's go ahead and add in a line 3D. This will basically just allow us to, set up a simple line drawing function. So line, or we'll just do line, or we'll add the 3D so we don't confuse it with anything else. Whoops, not 0. O, O2, N, and P. Now, N stands for name, P stands for parent, O stands for object, and O2 stands for object 2. So we'll do local surfaces because I kind of do like mine a bit smooth. So we'll go ahead and change a few things. So back surface, front surface, right surface, left surface, top surface, and then bottom surface. And basically, oh, wait, did I leave anything out? Nope, okay, it's good. Basically, this will allow us to grab every surface, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a little bit. So local mag is equal to O minus O2 dot magnitude Then local L is equal to instance.newPart. Whoops, gotta redo that right there. And then we'll go ahead and do L.formFactor is equal to custom. And then basically that allows us to actually we don't need the form factor because form factors is what is it? Deprecated, I believe. So we don't actually need that anymore. So if n if there is a name, then we'll just go ahead and do L.name is equal to n, else L.name is equal to line 3D. And then we'll just set the material equal to enum.material.smoothPlastic. It always is good to have everything be smooth. Then we'll do brickcolor.new shamrock. This is basically for being able to create a simple this is why I say okay, these are like little demo things. These aren't meant to be in the game. And there's a reason why we're doing this. So you will see L.locked is equal to true because we don't want to be able to select these. Then we'll do L.size is equal to vector3.new 0.3 in the magnitude that we had earlier. Then L.cframe is equal to cframe.new O2, and then times cframe.new 0, 0, and then negative magnitude divided by 2. And then we'll just go ahead and do for nd in pairs surfaces, do LD is equal to enum, .surface type, .smooth no outlines, and then after that, we'll do the very final, set that to P. Oh shoot, not pairs. No, set that to P and then return L. Now, what are we doing here? Well, we're going to go ahead and get the magnitude, which is the distance between it. We want to make the Z the distance between it as well, because this allows us to make it so it actually looks like it's a line going between. And then the C frame, we do the negative magnitude, because then that will allow us to set it to a point far, and then divide that by 2, and which would allow us to make that possible. And O and O2, which will also allow us to kind of have it at the rotated angle. So, that is that. That is line 3D. Now we're on to our very last part of the Bezier module here, in which we'll do function, Bezier, and then curve, X, Y, and then Z, L, D, and then PA. And then the X, Y, and Z does not stand for like any in-game coordinates as you would see on a part. No, these are standing for the variables of certain positions. I'm just using them because I'm more used to using them as variables. But you can use whatever you want there, honestly. So we'll do local last point. Actually, we're not going to make it equal to anything because we're going to set it out after. Then we'll do local points, and you'll see why we're going to be doing that with that later. For t equals 0, 1, and then 1 divided by L. Now, remember, I don't think I said this, but I said I said there was going to be an LOD system, which would allow us to say, will it be a straight line or a curve? And basically, the LOD is divided by 1 here, so every time it increments, that's the word I was trying to find out like a while ago, every time it increments, it will be going incrementing by 1 divided by the LOD, which will say how many segments of a curve do we have. So let's go ahead and get to the next part, which is local P is equal to 1 minus t squared, and then we're going to multiply that by x plus 2 times 1 minus t times y plus t squared times z. And this is a basic Bezier curve. And this isn't really a function, it's more like an algorithm. And x, y, and z are used here to be able to determine, it's kind of like a pinpoint, as most would call it. So if, and then we'll go ahead and make an if function to be able to draw certain things. So if last point, because we won't draw anything without a last point, and D does not equal false, then we'll go ahead and do local V is equal to line 3D, last point, P, and then we'll go ahead and name it line, and then we'll make it equal to PA, which will be parent. Then we'll do local TC, and actually we'll do CTC because we have the corners, and do equal to get all corners. Is that? Oh, get top corner. Okay, well, alright then. Get top corner, and then we'll set that to V, because that will draw the line. And then we go ahead and do points, and we'll do the exact same thing we did up here with the corners. Basically the same thing, going by the same logic, is equal to TC. Basically, what this is doing is saying, okay, we're not going to get rid of the line that's drawn, because we said D is equal to display, by the way. We said the display is going to be on, so we'll just go ahead and keep the lines there for reference. Else if last point and not D, then we'll go ahead, copy this, but the only thing that changes here is we destroy V right after, so there's no trace of it at all. Then we go ahead and do last point is equal to P, not P, and then return points. And that's basic. That's a basic Bezier function right there. And what else are we gonna do now? Well, we already have that done. So let's go ahead and change a few things before we get started with our next module. Let's go into actually it's in here, types and enemy stats. Let's change this to 100. Now, a reason for that is because I kind of want to display a faster speed, because it does not go as fast as you would want it to. If we keep it at 10, it would go really slow. So let's go ahead and continue, I would say. And let's go ahead and keep it at 100. Or actually, let's keep it at 100 for now. And actually, let's go back to 50. Let's go 50. Yeah, 50 will be better. So we'll go ahead and create a new module, because in here you can see we have the node stuff here. Let's go ahead and make that shorter. Let's go back to fundamentals and create a new module. And we're going to name this module script course. Now this one will be a very short one. So we'll just do local course is equal to empty table, and then type is equal to course. And that's kind of like meta methods are OOP, object-oriented programming. So we return the course, and we'll just go ahead and create a simple one. Function course spawn nodes T and L. Now T and L, basically T, we'll go ahead and oh yeah T is going to be basically our head of the line here, and then L will be our LOD. And you might say, well, what is T exactly? Like, I don't get it. Well, T is going to be really our location, our directory, our main directory. And you'll see this here in a bit. So we'll go ahead and access our Bezier script. So let's do script.parent.bezier, because it's already located in the fundamentals area. We don't need to go into game.replicated storage to do that. Then local nodes is equal to, actually, you know what? Scratch that. Game.replicated storage.modules.fundamentals.bezier. I might have made a mistake there. Then we'll go ahead and do for_n in pairs. T.paths get children. Do. And then we'll go ahead and do nodes to number n.name match. And then we'll go ahead and %d. And then we're going to make that equal to n. Now, the reason why is because, reason why I got rid of the tags in the first place is because in here you can see that we're using the tags for our values. But instead, we could just use the numbers that are located within the names. And that's what %d does. It gets a number, first digit from 0 from 9, and it will basically go ahead and say, there you go, there's your number, and that's how we'll do it. And it'll change. We're changing the string to a number. That's what toNumber does. So then we'll go ahead and turn these into Bezier nodes. So in pairs nodes do, and then we'll go ahead and do if nodes I plus 1 and nodes I plus 2, and we'll go ahead and copy this toNumber, and then % by 2 does not equal 0, and we'll make this equal to another one inside. Or actually, no, that's fine. So let's get rid of that. Does not equal 0 then. And the reason why we're %ing by 2 is basically saying this. Well, okay. If we want to, so this is the second one. We want to use this as a as our second point. So if we wanted to draw a Bezier curve with 3 points, we use this one as the second one, and that is the last, and this is the first. So we'll skip this because this one will never have, unless it's going to look awkward and it's going to look like this, but we want to look like this or like that. So that's how we'll do it. And basically, yeah, that's why we're skipping that. So if 2% of 2 is 0, 4% of 2 is 0, because if it's divisible by 2, it's 0. So we'll go ahead and go here and continue. Local PDA is equal to vector3.new 0 game.replicated storage dot assets dot enemies dot regular dot position dot y minus n dot position dot y 0. Now what's a PDA? What are we doing with PDA? Well, PDA is going to be basically our, like, hey guys, I'm gonna be here to just add in an extra vector, so the lines are actually at the dot height, or the enemy height, I would say. Then we'll go ahead and do local z1 and z2 is equal to n dot position plus PDA, and then nodes I plus 1 dot position plus PDA, and then another one which will be 2 dot position plus PDA. And it's not personal display of affection, trust me, it's not. But that's basically what this is going to be. Is just a simple addition so we can keep the lines on the same level as the enemy. Then we'll do nodes of I is equal to Bezier curve z1 z2 L true, and then n will be the parent, L will be oh wait, shoot, I forgot what it was. L would have been, it's true, and then L's a LOD, and then these will be our 3 points, and then true. And basically that's how we're gonna do that, and then return nodes. So that is that. Now let's go ahead and go to the controller, because that's what we're gonna have to do next here. Let's go to the controller because we already set up the course here. So let's go ahead and set up modules here. And then local course is equal to require game replicated storage dot assets dot dot modules dot fundamentals dot course. And then we're gonna go ahead and do local LOD is equal to like 10. Let's do like 50. And then after that, we're just going to create a variables thing here. Local nodes equals course spawn nodes workspace dot course, and then LD. And then here, we'll just get rid of this because we don't need it. And neither do we need source, actually, because there's no need for source. And then we'll just put nodes, and that basically replaces all that. And we'll change this to weight 5, and we'll get rid of this weight so we can just plant that really quickly. And then we have one more to change, in which is the enemy AI, so we can make it compatible with this. So let's go ahead and go to objects, classes, enemy, and enemy AI. And then we're going to go in here and change a few things. Not much will actually be changed here. So we'll do, for here, we'll do an if I% of 2, this is basically what I'm going back to, is not equal to 0, and AI does not that, and then and not source I.class name, then basically because sometimes it will become an object, one of the things will be an object when it reaches the end, so we just want to avoid that. Then we go ahead and do for nv in pairs, source, and then I do, and then we'll go ahead and just copy this right here, which I believe it goes to right here. It does. And there we go. We just go ahead and put that in. And we just go ahead and get rid of this. We set that equal to V. And we'll do this to 0.005. And that's basically it. There you go. And now if we go ahead and press play. As you can see, I'm a tiny little guy here. You can see that it is indeed going across our curve that we have set up here. And you can kind of see that here right now. You can see that there's a little space right here. So let's go ahead and just make this a, let's make this even better. So let's go and change this really quickly just for the end. And let's change this to something that I know works pretty well. So we'll go into assets, enemies, no wait, modules, types, enemy stats, and we'll just go ahead and change this to like 150. Hopefully that'll work. And as you can see, the enemies are traveling along. You have this really nice, path, really detailed in the curve. And basically, that should be it. And I'm serious. This is all you do. It's that simple to create this nice little curve here with the enemies going there. And apparently, I already placed it there on accident. But if we placed it, you'll see it still works as an actual thing. If we place it here, watch what happens when it goes ahead and it will still kill it, and it won't break. Boom, there you go. And it kills it. Watch how this one's going to happen, and it's going to kill it. And it works that well. So that's pretty great. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more content, as I'm going to be uploading even more content very soon. Yeah, so the time of this video, I know it's a bit long for a video like this, but we did go over a lot of it. So anyways, I want to say thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like I said before, and leave a comment if you have any trouble. I'll try to help you. It's kind of hard to help a bunch of people who are posting a lot of errors in the comments. And if you did make a mistake, it's probably a typo or an error. Most of these are up to date, and they're meant to last, except for the teleportation pad one. That one's going to break. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
She was screaming out for the madness.